NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the final event of the FedEx Cup playoffs. Today, it's live final round coverage of the Tour Championship. They're here today at the East Lake Golf Club for the final chapter of the FedEx Cup playoffs and the final round of the Tour Championship. Today, we will crown our next FedEx Cup champion. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo, so happy to be here once again to call the action from Atlanta. Frank, as you begin to look at the finish line, the final round of the Tour Championship and a huge payout to the winner, you want some beefy par fours, and this is it. 476 yards, a par 4 13.
Yeah, this is a par 4 Doc Worker would enjoy. It's a hard hole, dogleg left, uphill, everything in front of you. Two good shots, stating the obvious, required to hit this par 4 and 2. Outside chance at a birdie, but you just ride a 4 down here and scream your way to the next hole.
Comfortably over the ball, ready to go here at 13. This one is definitely heading left. Looks like it is going to end up in the rough. So the golf ball ends up in that first cut. It's a little bit less than 2 inches. You can see the golf ball. Should be able to get at it, but may not be able to control the spin. We'll see. Frank, this ball's in the rough. You like to hinge just a little bit quicker on the takeaway when the ball is down like this?
No, when it's down, you've just got to make sure that you wind up almost like you're hitting a tee shot. This is not one to be dallied with. You've got to hit it powerfully, and you really have to focus on that club getting through the grass, past the ball, and out the other side.
Well, the stats say that is a green hit in regulation, but it's not yet a par on the card. Very tough putt coming up. That is a painful miss right there. And a bogey. Drop shot here at the 13th. Been pretty good all day from this distance. Just trying to take care of business. Never quite had enough oomph on that.
Yeah, sort of a wishy-washy stroke. Even par currently.
You can see the look of disgust, and it's justifiable. It's a double bogey. Straightaway par 4 here at East Lake and the Tour Championship, the 14th, 442 yards. Frank, did you hear the sound of that coming off the club face?
It was like a cannon.
Those are good numbers right there. 320, 320 yards. Just crushed it in the fairway. Should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
Now this for birdie came away with par in the previous round. moves into the top 10 with that birdie. There are just 2 par 5s here at the Tour Championship presented by Coca-Cola. This is the second and last of the 5 pars. The 15th, it is only 525 yards. And if you walk away with par here, you will likely have dropped the shot to the field. This is a chance to make birdie or eagle.
Long and straight.
That's how you do it.
Rich, it's a different challenge today. The weather is so day-to-day out here, and when you get a breeze like this that's kicking up, you really have to sort of change your approach to playing these holes.
It looks nice out there, the blue skies, plenty of high sunshine, but it's a challenge because those winds have really freshened up.
Well, that's the best that was going to be on the fringe.
Not too bad. Nothing wrong with that one. Only about 15 feet away and a chance for birdie. This hole's been good to him. Birdie yesterday, and trying for another one today. Came to the putt excited to make birdie. Now, settle for par.
Yeah, a little change in the attitude right now. When you've let one go, you've got to really knuckle down there and make sure you don't drop a shot. It's important that this one goes in.
That would have been a real bonus had it dropped, but as it is, good putt. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Just a couple of feet. Going to have to regroup now after that double bogey. Players now arriving at the 16th hole, 481-yard par 4, and Frank, the pressure is really starting to mount here in the final round of the Tour Championship.
Oh, you can smell that $10 million right now. You can also see that fairway shrinking. Notice the look of those 4 bunkers down the left. The fairway gets narrower and narrower the further you go down. You can try and fly past them, but this is going to be another one where the tee shot's downhill and the second shot.
Wow, that is a monster drive down there, about 315 yards. Trying to pull it all together here late in the round. The approach now to the 16th. Stuck the follow through right there. This could be really good. Excellent shot to within 10 feet. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Has the birdie to move to 3 under par for the championship. Frank, final round of the Tour Championship, just a couple of holes to play, and this is one of those spots where the moment is really so big and the potential for catastrophe with the water left is really so glaring, making this quite a hole.
It's the only hole on the back nine where the water is just obviously in play, and that becomes the feature all the way down the left side of this magnificent par 4. On the other side of the fairway, there's 3 bunkers in that perfect position should you stray a little to the right. So it requires your best tee shot. And the second shot also requires your best judgment. The reason why? That green just slightly built up and protected by that front bunker. There's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
That's well played. Places it about 10 feet out for birdie. Frankie's going for 2 birdies in a row.
If he can knock this one in, then that's certainly going to help the confidence. A few more birdies like that. Which, you never know, just might sneak placed on the podium.
In the top 10 right now. Frank, here we are, the final hole of the final round of the final event of the FedEx Cup season.
Yeah, this is it. They give you a little bit of a reprieve. You wouldn't think you could do too much damage on this. But if you have to make 3 to win, and that's to win everything, there's much easier holes to play than this.
Birdie try up next. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knock it in for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it is going to hurt the cause.
Speed wasn't bad on that long putt, but the read wasn't very good. These putts keep the round together. Well, Frank, it's our job to get excited.
You can't when you leave it short, though.
I'm sad.
He's making my job hard.
And he's putting for double bogey now. Too bad. 2 drop shots right there with a double bogey. So another tournament in the books, Frank, and what'd you make of this one?
Quality venue once again, Rich. The standard of courses we're seeing is excellent, and consequently it's enabling the players to really play some great golf. So I think golf's the winner today.
EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the BioWare Classic. Hello again and welcome. Rich Slaughter alongside my colleague Frank Nobilo for EA Sports. Getting set to go at the Wetlands Golf and Country Club. We're located along the St. Johns River in the great state of Florida. Let's take you down to the 7th hole. Has not been a stellar performance to this point, but Frank, not too bad.
When you consider 4-round events, Rich, you're going to have a period where there's a little lull. As long as you can minimize the damage over the course of 4 days, it turns out all right.
Frank, over the course of the last 15 years or so, there have been a number of initiatives within the game of golf just to try to grow the sport.
Yeah, we've seen the PGA Junior League, which is a series of competitions, obviously for juniors to play. But the First Tee really is worldwide now, just to try and introduce players from all over the world into the game of golf. They're introduced with club professionals. They learn skills that are essential really to play the game of golf. But in 2014 was a real step, what I think, in the right direction to showcase the junior talent around the world with the drive, chip and putt, where you actually get a chance to play the drive, chip and putt final at Augusta National, the home of the Masters.
Imagine young kids, boys and girls, 8 years old, 11 years old, being able to go home and tell their friends, tell their families, hey, I have something in common with Jack Nicklaus, with Arnold Palmer, with Phil Mickelson, with Tiger Woods. I won at Augusta National Golf Club. Well, Frank, the wind is really starting to pick up.
You've got to fixate on the direction now. If you get the direction wrong and or mistime one of those gusts, all sorts of problems.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Generate some momentum here at the 7th hole. This for birdie. Birdie chance here. Very long putt, though.
Got to be a little careful if it gets away on him.
It's a good-looking putt right here. You might like it. Always nice to be comfortably inside that cut line. The wily golf instructor makes birdie. 8th hole here at the Wetlands, par 3, 203 yards. You like this hole, Frank?
I do, actually, but you have to have a little look at your yardage book because that front bunker will make this hole look a little shorter to the eye than actually what it plays. Green gets a little narrow as it gets deeper, but flat and, well, I wouldn't say easy. 3 here, not too bad.
Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. No problems there. Really good approach shot. And now, good look at birdie. Frank going for 2 in a row now. Frank, this game will drive you crazy.
Yeah, you can do so many things right, and then just something so simple, completely wrong.
Locked in on the read and the speed. That's a solid par. Still in it, Frank. Frank, looking at this par 5 9th hole, it's 621 yards. I need to make birdie here. What's the best way to go about it?
Well, if you're a long hitter, then there's a chance you can reach this par 5 and 2, Rich. But really the best way to make birdie here, good tee shot, and then contemplate the layup. In between the first 2 bunkers, there's a nice section of fairway, and that's not going to leave you much in for that 3rd shot to a green that's very receptive. So really, birdie can be made the hard way, wedge and a putt.
That ball's run out certainly over 300 yards, Frank. Call it about 310. Playing his 2nd shot here at the par 5. Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up? It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Right there.
He's just making it look so easy. That birdie coming up, formality.
Just a tap in to finish the hole. Well, continuing to move in the right direction now to 2 under for the championship. Just a superb performance on the front side. He's hoping to keep it going here on the back 9, Frank.
The game is so much easier when you're swinging well, putts are going in. Really, you've just got to keep out of your own way.
can't hide the flagstick from that man.
He is just unbelievable. That never deviated offline.
Getting set now over the putt. Well hold, out of 3 under par. Frank, you surprised to see that name on top of the leaderboard?
I am surprised to see the name, but not that style of golf leading. It was great performance, especially tee to green. You don't often see people start that quickly.
EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live second-round coverage of the BioWare Classic. Well, here we are at the Wetlands Golf and Country Club. We're located along the St. Johns River in the Sunshine State, Florida. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports. Frank, what stands out when you look at the wetlands?
Swampland, the Gators, really it's a good driving golf course, Rich. Not a lot of fairway bunkers in play here at Wetlands, but if you drive the ball well here, you really can get a good score out here at Wetlands. They play the web.com here every now and again, so we've seen some good scores over the years, but always fun to be playing in Florida. Sun on your back, warm golf conditions.
He makes a great pass at the golf ball. It's powerful, but it's rhythmic at the same time. Frank, this is a way to make golf easy when you can hit it that deep.
Oh, I'm going to say, I know that first number's a 3. I'm guessing the second one's a 2. Let's call it 320.
Second shot coming up here at the par 5. Third shot, looking for a good one.
Safely on deck.
So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot. Now this for birdie came away with par in the previous round.
You want to know the difference between good scores and average scores? That.
Right there. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. So close. Boy, that hurts right there, Frank.
Yeah, he's got to knuckle down now, though, because, you know, we've seen it before, Rich. 2 putts turn into 3, 4. So make sure you can limit the damage here.
Blemish on the scorecard. A bogey. Par 4 sixth here at the Wetlands, 440 yards and water to deal with.
2 choices here, Rich. Lay it up short of the wetlands, or, well, chance it, brave enough, tee it up and flash it across the wetlands. They're just a mere short iron into this lengthy par 4. I'm loving that balance.
That's an absolute tracer right there. In the fairway and well over 320 yards. And this attempt will be from about 130 yards.
This looks like it's going to find the target.
Terrific golf shot. And now that for an easy birdie. Made par yesterday. This one for birdie. Go ahead and do that for birdie. Here at the par 5 7th at the Wetlands Golf and Country Club, 592 yards.
That's fine.
Can't ask for much more here at the 7th. He has hit a good one. Nice position, short grass, second shot. Oh, looked like he caught a flyer right there, Frank.
Well, I don't know what he caught, but this is way too much.
Wow, lucky break right there, Frank.
Well, that's what everyone else is going to say, except him.
You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Pretty good effort right there. And getting ready for the putt. Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it more on putting.
That's good work. That's good par right there. On to the 8th. It's a par 3, 203 yards. What's going on here, Frank?
Interesting par 3, really. It looks anything other than a straightaway hole. That bunker short of this green gives you like an optical illusion. You think it's lapping up with the front of this green, but there's actually sort of 3 or 4 yards before you get to the putting surface. A little bit of a drop off behind this green, and it narrows out the deeper the green gets. So tricky little par 3.
This one looks right on point. We just saw a player in total control of what he's doing. Didn't miss a green in regulation all day long.
Really? This is an awkward length.
With that birdie, moves 1 shot closer to the lead. The 9th hole, Frank, is a muscular par 5, 621 yards.
You see why length is a huge advantage of this golf course, just under 7,700 yards. This hole here, another example, good tee shot. Perhaps think of going for the par 5 and 2, but a great collection of 3 bunkers that sort of annoy you with your layup there. Got to make sure you avoid all of those to leave yourself a nice little wedge shot in here if you can't reach it in 2. Long and straight.
That's how you do it.
Oh, that's it. New member of the 300-yard club.
Good poke right there. Frank, there's a real art to putting a good score on the board, isn't there?
Yeah, that's why stroke play is so tough, Rich. You're trying to minimize everything on a golf course. Turn a 6 into a 5 or a 4 into a 3. It's like even off the edge of a green, trying to get up and down in 2 rather than 3. And you've got to do it for 18 straight holes, straight holes. If it's a 72-hole tournament, then you've got to do it for 4 straight days. And that's why that's always been the best predictor of our best players, the ones that can go 4 days and make the least number of mistakes.
Slight waggle, relaxed arms, ready to go. Chance to close out the front side here with a birdie. See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. This putt for birdie. Setting himself up for a good weekend, the Wiley golf instructor makes his birdie. So that is a top 10 performance through 2 rounds, Frank.
It's always nice to know that you have a shot with 2 rounds left in the tournament.
EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live third-round coverage of the BioWare Classic. And this is certainly a challenge, Frank.
It is. We really should rename it Drylands because that's the way you want to play this golf course. If you're not dry, then you are going to be wet. That swampland is just all the way around this golf course. In between it, though, is fairway. So fairway, the goal all day today.
And as always, with the state of Florida, you have to factor in the changing winds. Wow, check this out, Frank. Par 3 fourth, 250 yards. This is a really cool hole.
It is. You tee off and that tee shot right across the swampland into a crescent-shaped green. And, of course, it is protected by that bunker that just cuts in. It doesn't give you very much depth on that middle line of the green. So if the pin's in the middle, that's when the hole plays its most difficult.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Looks like he just misread that. So a tester from 4 feet. Drops for a par. Good look now at the 5th hole here at the Wetlands. Par 5, and it's a good one. 635 yards. Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
Well, that is a really good tee shot right there, Frank.
I think that tipped the 300-yard mark.
Well, I guess we shouldn't be surprised. The former PGA teaching professional has a textbook golf swing. These winds have held up all day long, definitely playing a part in the shot making we're seeing out there today. Well, he'd like to have that one back in the bunker.
Still a chance to get it up and down.
Frank, it rolled out of the short grass and into the white sand, so this is his third shot.
Yeah, a lot of the professionals would rather be in the sand than the thick rough. You can control the spin much better out of fairway bunker than you can the rough.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
Well, that's how you play the game, right there. And this will be a 5-foot putt here. Well, that was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
Sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. And that's in for a par. On to the par 4 sixth here at the Wetlands. And Frank, how does that water factor into the way you play this hole?
It bisects this fairway beautifully, Rich. 233 yards to the run out on the first section of fairway, and that might be worth considering for the short hitters to try and flash it across the narrowest part of those wetlands. 276 yards, and of course the more horsepower you got, actually the easier this tee shot becomes. Now, this is not heading in the right direction.
Well, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Oh, look out, Frank. Where's this one headed?
This is definitely rough, Rich, off the tee.
Shot now from the rough. Frank, what's he facing?
Well, the lie first and foremost. If it's sitting down, then obviously you're not going to get a very good contact. Nothing wrong with coming up a little bit short of the green. Problem is turning one mistake into another.
You can't ask for much more than that. About 5 feet away. Beautifully done. Coming off a bogey here yesterday, chance to make it right. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Bogey here yesterday, chance to better that today. He's made it. Frank, now we get a crack at another par 5. The 7th is 592 yards.
And certainly reachable, especially with a tee shot that follows the shape of this fairway, which is slightly to the left. Good tee shot, you can get home. And those bunkers, if anything, are nicely placed on that left side of the green, actually to protect a shot that goes too far or too left.
Oh, this looks good.
Certainly is.
They'll be pretty happy with that 290-yard poke off the tee. Well, this is going to be an interesting day. The wind is howling, or as they would say in Scotland, just a wee breeze. Well, this one's sweet, Frank.
Super.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
The green in regulation. Birdie here yesterday, trying to do it again today. Needs a few more of those. That was a good birdie.
Yeah, this time that one gets him in the top 10.
8th hole here at the Wetlands, par 3, 203 yards. You like this hole, Frank?
I do, actually, but you have to have a little look at your yardage book because that front bunker will make this hole look a little shorter to the eye than actually what it plays. Green gets a little narrow as it gets deeper, but flat and, well, I wouldn't say easy. 3 here, not too bad.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. That is a really good shot landing close to the flagstick. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. That is some good work right there. Birdie, one shot closer to the lead. Good third round, Frank, and a good spot heading to the final 18.
Yeah, to be in the top 5 right now, the caliber of this field, know that your game is good enough too, and a legitimate chance of taking home the trophy come tomorrow night. This really is what all those hours on the range contribute to, this moment right now.
EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live final round coverage of the BioWare Classic. Getting set for all the action on what my idol Vin Scully would have said was a beautiful afternoon here in the Sunshine State. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports. Getting ready at Wetlands Golf and Country Club. An interesting layout, Frank. The players are ready to go, and what are you thinking about as you get set to tee off?
Well, you're thinking about you're going to play a long golf course, sort of mid-7,000 yard range, but this is a golf course that you actually do get to hit your driver more often than not. So it's a good driving golf course. Green's relatively flat as well, but be careful if you're a little weak of heart. Look left or right, you might see the odd gator or two. Oh, beautiful swing, and the result is every bit as good. Oh, it's fine.
Frank, this is a way to make golf easy when you can hit it that deep.
Oh, I'm going to say, I know that first number's a 3. I'm guessing the second one's a 2. Let's call it 320. Second shot. There's a bunker over there.
I think he's headed for it. Just a bit offline and into the bunker. All right, so greenside bunker. What's he looking to do with this shot, Frank?
Well, really you have to look at the amount of green you got to play with. You don't have to try and fly the ball right by the flag. Allow it to run. Plus, if you can get it to run like a putt, you never know. It might just go in.
Safely aboard. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point.
How did that not go in?
Just a little too much juice on that birdie putt, Frank.
It was bold. Very bold.
Just a couple of feet. They'll take it. That's a par. Making our move to the home stretch, the 16th. It's a par 4 and a good one at 455 yards.
And a chance to actually get a good run for the clubhouse because the holes are fairly short coming in. So good drive here. Find the putting surface. Maybe start the roll right here. Long and straight.
That's how you do it. Nice long tee shot there and a good lie, Frank. And he's set up for his second shot here, looking to knock it on the green. Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday.
And yet another birdie, this time inching into the top 5.
17th at the Wetlands, par 3, 238 yards. Frank, how would you describe this hole?
Well, it's a hole really that shapes up well for a nice little high draw. See the angle of the green pointing slightly to the right. A nice little draw into this par 3, and that'll find the nice avenue. Maybe a kick forward, 15, 20 feet left for birdie. And if you birdied 16, chance to birdie 17 as well.
Not terrible, but not his best.
Outside chance really for birdie, but really it was a rather poor approach shot.
On the way.
Pace, line, everything to perfection.
Final hole here at the Wetlands Golf and Country Club. It's par 4. It's not a long one, 377 yards. There must be some trouble out there somewhere.
Well, not really if you keep your wits about you. Just position the tee shot. You don't have to hit driver down here. Even a 3-wood's only going to leave a short iron. If you hit your 3-wood 250, 260 yards, do the maths, it's only 120 yards left. With that, with a scoring club, try and get that inside 10, 15 feet. Finish with a birdie.
But if you stray, then what?
Oh, no, we don't think of straying on this hole. This is the last hole. Got to finish well.
But I'm thinking about gators. Are there gators out there?
Well, there's gator on the menu.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
That is a beauty, a real beauty. Par yesterday, now for birdie. Come on, don't do that.
Cruel lip out.
So they'll tap in.
Now, that's a good par there, Rich.
Frank, it was a great setting with great crowds. We saw plenty of very good golf. Your thoughts?
I think the course really extracted some of the golf that we saw. It forced these players to play just some great golf, and it wasn't just like a pitch and a putt golf course. So I think seeing the guys tested, seeing the players tested at this level, it was a treat.
This is EA Sports. PGA Tour coverage coming up next. Today it's live opening round coverage of the Career Builder Challenge. Picking him up live now at the 10th. Frank, nothing spectacular to this point in the first round. What does the player need to do just to kind of generate some momentum?
I actually think they're playing it right, Rich. It's just, you compared to the top of the leaderboard, you start to think, well, maybe they're struggling. But there's ebbs and flows in this game. At the moment, it's just sort of almost like a holding pattern. But it's time to change that.
Frank, that swing looks lively and strong.
Oh, that had to fly 300. It's close to 310.
Now the second shot here at 10.
This looks like it's going to find the target.
Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. Settles in over the putt. Setting himself up for a good weekend, the wily golf instructor makes his birdie. Frank, how about this hole, the par 5 11th? Long one.
Oh, it is. And, anything over 600 yards, only the longest it is the Bubba Watsons, the Dustin Johnsons of the world. The other ones that can get home on a hole like this. For the other ones, even those bunkers down the left side are sort of in play. You at least have to give them a cursory look off the tee. Nothing wrong with a hole at a par 5 that you can't reach. You can still play it as a 3-shotter. And in some respects, you get rewarded for laying up here because that water that comes in on the left-hand side, that's not going to be in play.
Right where they were aiming, in the fairway. Second from an excellent lie. Frank, in the changing weather conditions, players have so many different options, don't they? Some might like to play it high. Others might want to play it a little lower along the ground.
Really got to be on your toes today because of that, Rich. And really, that's what separates the men from the boys, so to speak. You know that any mistake you make can obviously be magnified by the wind conditions. But conversely, it's a real good chance for skill to shine.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
All right, Frank, time to play a little pitch and putt right now. Good chance with a good shot here to make a 4.
Yeah, holes like this is where small ball can beat big ball.
Just a beautiful approach shot. These putts keep the round together. Good birdie right there, moving to third place on the leaderboard. Now the par 4 12th, only 363 yards, but Frank, it is intricate. There's a lot involved, isn't there, in playing a hole like this?
Yeah, I think this is where you have to work out, which clubs do you hit the best? Are you better with a 9-iron? Are you better with the wedge? Because that's the distance you want to hit it to. That's how you can be aggressive, even when you're laying up.
So, Frank, we know that the players petitioned back in the 80s to move the PGA Tour event away from PGA West. It's coming back in 2016. But what did Pete Dye say about golf courses being fair or unfair?
Well, he said it actually. He tried to say it with a chuckle, but he always said that golf's not a fair game. So why build a golf course that's fair?
Do you agree with that?
I do now. I think everything has to align itself together. When you looked at the equipment that the players were using, wooden drivers and balls that spun around, they had trouble on windy days. And these golf courses, they really were brutal. But I think now that the ball goes further, the introduction of the metal-headed driver, the utility clubs, all of those things have made these golf courses really come back into favor again. Look at what Jason Day did in 2015 at the PGA Championship at Whistling Straits on a Pete Dye golf course. That's how you have to play the game now. We have to embrace change.
How difficult is this golf course at PGA West? Well, it was ranked 8th on this year's Golf Digest, America's 20 toughest golf courses. Frank here at the par 4 12th, getting ready for this approach shot. Good chance for a 3.
There is. Notice the contours on the green. They sort of slope towards the back and down that left side. So you can actually use that in your favor with this approach. Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on that. Easy birdie.
Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read.
Yet another birdie and yet another tie at the top of the leaderboard.
Now at the par 3 13th, and Frank, in some ways, this is vintage Pete Dye, isn't it?
It is. His use of wooden bulkheads, plus the fact that he gives you that diminishing line. The further you go back into this green, you realize it's a larger carry. It just sort of reeks of something that's hit to the front mid-right of this green.
Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. Just 5 feet left. Doesn't dig into the lead with that par, but Frank, sometimes, and you know this as well as anyone, you just have to kind of maintain your footing out there. 14th hole, par 4 of 389 yards. It is short, but Frank, there is some danger lurking along the way.
Yeah, most of it's sand. Two options really: poke it down that left side, let it run down there like a bowling alley. Either that or take that bunker completely out of play, 290, 300 yard category, and get it down there where it's just a flick wedge in.
Frank, we were commenting earlier in the day that this round had really gone wrong. Are you surprised that he's been able to put it back together?
I certainly am. He'd lost his composure, his rhythm. So really to be playing this well so quickly after that, you tip your hat.
Always a chance in this game. Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
That is pretty as a picture right there. Nice to watch. What a good-looking swing. Fundamentals, they are rock solid. Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. That's well played. Now a good look at birdie. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Never quite had enough oomph on that.
Yeah, sort of a wishy-washy stroke.
Keeps the momentum going with that putt. Stays at 3 under. So, one round in the books and a lot to chew on here.
There is. This is going to be a tough championship to pull away. The standard of golf, especially that first page of the leaderboard. Excellent golf.
Today's coverage brought to you by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. It's second round coverage of the Career Builder Challenge. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back. Oh, if this is up, it's good.
Not the longest, but not bad. 295 yards in the fairway. We'll settle. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Put a birdie on the card here yesterday, don't forget. Getting set now over the putt. Frank, I thought that was in. Tough start to the backside, Frank.
Yeah, it doesn't bode well, too. You start losing confidence with the putter early on.
Nudge this one home, finish it up. Has his par. Well, we've arrived at our third par 5 of the day here at PGA West. It is the 11th. It is nicknamed, appropriately, Eternity. 617 yards.
Long and straight.
That's how you do it. Excellent drive right there, Frank.
Circa 310.
Nice position, short grass, second shot.
That's an absolute beauty.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
What a nice shot. Right on the green and a pretty easy putt on the way. Birdie here yesterday, trying to do it again today. Frank, that birdie will help the cause. To the par 4 12th here at PGA West, short at 363 yards. Not the longest, but not bad. 295 yards in the fairway.
Club has been pulled, ready for the second shot now at the par 4 12th.
Frank, can one small tweak from an instructor lead to a big turnaround?
With the right player, yeah. You just want to hear the right message. It's like anyone in life. You just want to be pointed in the right direction.
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Oh, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Just a couple of feet. That was a nice birdie, and no doubt he's feeling pretty good about his position on this leaderboard.
A series of good holes in a row has got him to this point.
Well, Frank, we came off a hole, the short par 4 12th, where players no doubt were thinking about making birdie. Here, it's a different story. Why?
It is. Well, 13 is always going to be unlucky for some. There's so much water down there on that left side, and the way it sort of laps up to the wooden bulkhead, it looks anything other than a straight shot. And this is where you have to mentally move the flag. You've got to push that flag in your mind's eye to the right side of the green and say, I do not want to go left of that.
This one's looking good.
It was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back?
Frank, just into that first cut.
Yeah, it's sitting up. Really, this isn't too bad a situation.
Okay, good shot on the dance floor. So just a formality here. That's how you maintain momentum. Make those putts for par.
Frank, what's the best way to make 3 here at this 389-yard par 4 14th?
I'm not sure, really. I know there's 2 definitive options, hitting it down the left or carrying over the bunker. And I think that's another example of Pete Dye. There's one of those holes you never really know if you've made the right play until you finish the hole. Nice.
Looks good.
That's fine.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
This is a good-looking shot. Really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths. Par yesterday, now for birdie.
Man,
Just pushed it.
boy, that hurts. And getting ready for the putt. Simple, solid, and he'll take it.
But one that you need to make.
Par 4 15th, measuring in at 468 yards. Well, Frank, we are turning home. It says so on the scorecard here at 15.
It is, and once again, another example of great bunkering by Pete Dye. Bunkers on a lot of golf courses are just simply left and right, but what Pete Dye does, he lets them cut in, especially that one down the left side of the fairway. It cuts in, so it has to be avoided, and it's going to be about 280 yards to take it completely out of play. That's probably the best line, is to get it just past that last bunker on the left side.
Frank, what are you thinking on this second shot here at 15?
Well, if mentally you could take out all that bunker complex on the left, this second shot would look extremely straightforward. And that's really the way you've got to play it. You've got to act like those bunkers aren't there on that left side. And therefore you can go straight at this flag.
Tugged that one a little bit offline to the left. And he'll pay a bit of a price because that rough was fairly thick.
You have to think he'll be happy with that, given that it looked like it was headed right for the rough.
Yeah, it looked like that was the only place it was going to finish. But, well, it's a little bit unexplainable. Let's see what he does from here now. Lucky break.
Once considered the best PGA teaching pro in the country, our featured golfer makes birdie and now sits comfortably inside the cut line. This is EA Sports coverage of the PGA Tour. Today it's live third round coverage of the Career Builder Challenge. Frank, this is like a big water park here at PGA West. We saw it at the 6th, and here again at the 7th, a challenging par 4, 346 yards.
I've never, ever seen anyone try and drive this green. So it's just a layup. You see the bunker down there in the distance. That really is the stop sign. So something that's short of that, but really what I prefer is try and lay up on a nice number. Something that you got a full shot in, whether that be a 9-iron or an 8-iron or a wedge. You'd like to have a full club in here. This is definitely not going down the fairway.
It doesn't look good. I think it's going to be in the deep rough. And the tee shot ends up in the bunker. Digs in, ready for the bunker shot.
Yeah, second shot here. Just try and aim a little bit behind that ball, an inch or two.
That's another green hit in regulation, and that has been the story all day, just wearing out the center of that club face. Now this for birdie, came away with par in the previous round. Thundering up the leaderboard, 10 under par for the tournament. What a birdie. 555-yard par 5 8th hole. Frank, is this a two-shotter or a three-shotter?
Good question, Rich. It starts to shrink down by the walkway, which is around that 330-yard mark. That's the decision has to be made. Personally, I think you try it at first, because even if you do find a fairway bunker, then it is certainly a layup. If you've got the distance, it's well worth the risk. What a great shot.
Well, that's the way you draw it up here at the 8th. You want to get it out there. He's done that, and he's kept it in the fairway. Now the approach shot here on this par 5 8th. Frank, at this, the highest level, stroke play, really it seems to me to be all about not wasting shots because the margin for error is so razor thin. Couldn't have done much better than that. An eagle is very possible. Locked in on the read and the speed. Racking him and stacking him. That's 12 under par now for the tournament. Frank, the 9th hole at 452 yards with that water down the right is really a test of a player's driving ability, isn't it?
It is, and his ability to sort of take the shot on. Ideally, just something with a little bit of a fade, unless you can carry the ball 300 yards, then you can get it just past that bunker. But when you look at this hole, notice how that fairway just starts to open up. So Pete Dye will reward an aggressive tee shot, but also he'll punish it if it's wayward.
Up with the big boys now, Frank.
Well, we saw that previous tee shot go 310. This one's further.
Player really needs to be dialed in here. This approach shot is not easy by any stretch here at the 9th. This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
Had a birdie here yesterday, in there close. Great opportunity for another one. Birdie try again here today. Had a nice birdie on this hole yesterday.
I thought that was in.
Yeah, it looked good. I mean, line, pace. It's hard to be critical of that.
Nudge this one home, finish it up. Nothing wrong with that par putt. Excellent front side, trying to keep it going here on the second 9.
He's just playing beautifully, hitting so many good shots, giving himself so many opportunities. Can he keep it going?
Frank, this is good golfing weather. Nice strong breeze.
That appeared to be a good strike right there, Frank.
Oh, good. It's just towering. Look at that hanging in the sky.
Looks to be a good setup going into the green here at the 10th. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag. Oh, this is heading in the wrong direction.
Uh-oh. Just averted danger right there. So close.
Why does he have all the luck?
Made par yesterday. This one for birdie.
In the hole for birdie.
Now at the long par 5 11th. They call it eternity with good reason. It is 617 yards. Frank, what's the game plan here?
Hit it as long as you can, hopefully only a couple of times, and you can get fairly close to this green. Little pitch up there, but even if you go for this green or try and get close, that's when you start to notice the water that comes in on the left side, so you can't just bash away. Might only be a couple of bunkers in play off the tee, but they have to be avoided.
Good contact, good result.
Right where they were aiming, in the fairway.
Second shot.
All right, Frank, time to play a little pitch and putt right now. Good chance with a good shot here to make a 4.
Yeah, holes like this is where small ball can beat big ball.
That would be a great look at birdie. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business.
Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie. And what a day it's been.
Frank, Pete Dye always gets a player thinking what might be going through a player's mind right here.
You're going to play it as a layup. You know, that's a given. It's just what distance you want. And for every distance you're going to hit it off the tee, Pete Dye gives you a different challenge. If you lay it all the way back, obviously you've got the widest fairway. Then you've got the longer second shot. Get a little closer, it starts to shrink up, shrink up, shrink up. So it's how much do you want to bite off? Game's about rhythm. When you have good rhythm, it just looks effortless. To hit the ball 300 yards through the air, that easy.
Frank, that is position A.
Yeah, the tee shot was like silk, Rich. I mean, just sets up that second shot so beautifully.
Frank here at the par 4 12th, getting ready for this approach shot. Good chance for a 3.
There is. Notice the contours on the green. They sort of slope towards the back and down that left side. So you can actually use that in your favor with this approach.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. I mean, that's how the game is played, right there.
He's just making it look so easy. That birdie coming up, formality.
He really likes this hole. Made birdie yesterday. Can he do it again today? Putting on a show, this tournament moves to 15 under par.
Frank, in golf, there's nothing quite like the final round of a hotly contested championship, and this one could be a doozy.
And there's nothing quite like that leaderboard I'm looking at right now. We are going to have some amazing golf. This one is going to have to be won.
This is EA Sports PGA Tour coverage coming up next. Today it's live final round coverage of the Career Builder Challenge.
Well, Frank, kind of a make-or-break hole here at the 14th, par 4, 389 yards.
Yeah, for the Cavalier player, you can sort of go at this green in a more direct line. 290 yards will take all this bunker down the right out of play. Just leave you a flick in here. I'm going to say that's not a bad play, really. If you don't do that, then you just got to thread it down the left.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball, and this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards.
What a shot. I mean, almost in.
Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday.
And he has it for birdie. Now at the 15th, par 4, 468 yards. It is nicknamed Turning Home as we are making our way towards the close of this round. Frank, did you hear the sound of that coming off the club face?
It was like a cannon. Long and straight.
That's how you do it.
Well, that's got to be 300 yards, isn't it?
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
This is a good-looking shot.
Can't hide the flagstick from that man.
And getting ready for the putt. Good putt.
This is the second par 5 at PGA West of 600 or more yards. The 16th is a pretty good test.
Nicely played shot, about 310 yards down the fairway.
Now the second shot to the par 5. That was a big, bold strike, and now a chance for a big, bold move. Putt for eagle coming up.
Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Pretty good stroke right there, just to hit it through the break.
Well, it's that sort of distance. If it goes in, it's a bonus.
For birdie. Everybody loves him. Birdie on the card.
Now to the signature par 3. It only plays 168 yards from the tips, but the tee sits up high and the wind can blow, and a lot can happen here.
Well, look out. This could be wet, Frank.
It's heading towards the hazard.
That is always so disappointing from that kind of a spot when you come up short.
Yeah, you're licking your chops over that one.
That one is gone. OB. Third shot now after having gone OB.
Frank, this is one you don't practice, but sometimes you have to do it. Time for the drop.
Yeah, it should be the easiest shot in golf. You've just paid for it.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green.
Not a problem there, Rich.
That's a bogey, but still in the lead.
We start to see shots in hand really valuable.
Well, here we are at 18. It's a par 4, only 439 yards, but again, we've said it all day long. Water to deal with.
It's a great driving hole here, Rich. You don't necessarily have to hit driver. There's 3 groups of bunkers that are really in play off the tee shot. It's the one in the middle. It's around 290 yards. That's the one you really have to focus on. For stronger players, there's nothing wrong with hitting 3-wood off the tee there. You're still only going to have a shot of 150, 160 yards. Whichever way you look at it, it's something that you think you can find the fairway with.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
Chance to win right here, the Career Builder Challenge.
Count that. That's a birdie. Just a great putt and a EA Sports is proud to present today's PGA Tour coverage. We're here today at the PGA West Stadium course located in La Quinta, California. Frank, why is this golf course such a challenge?
There's really no bailout, Rich. Miss it left, there's trouble. Miss it right, there's trouble. If you don't get the distance right, you're going to find trouble. So it really is a point-to-point golf course. Well, where this ball's going, there's no fairway there, only rough.
Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
He just blasted that one down the fairway. Out there about 325 yards. 160-yard shot. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now we'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. Let's see if he does it here.
All right, Frank, break down this approach shot here at hole number 1.
Well, typical Pete Dye confuses you straight out of the gate. Draw off the tee, and then you've got to hit that second shot in left to right. Look at the angle of that green. It points away to the right.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. On the green. And a chance for birdie here on the first hole. Now the approach shot here at the par 4 first. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. That's a par, and that keeps the scorecard clean, still even for the round. He has a birdie opportunity here. 1 under early in the round. Teed up here at the second hole, Frank, this is a short par 4, measuring about 370 yards.
While it mightn't have the yardage, it's certainly made up in strategy by all the bunkering down here, Rich. And it's really 2 bunkers that you've got to, or 2 complexes that you've really got to worry about. One down the left, you'll see, is about 285 yards to carry, and then that next crop comes in just about 300 yards. So you've got to decide whether to go over the bunker on the left and short of the other one, or even lay up to the right, perhaps short. And that's where you realize this is very much a 2-shot hole, and play it that way.
Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up. It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
Good chance for birdie here. Short iron in hand. The approach now to the second hole. Good swing, good shot yet again. That is professional with a capital P right there.
That's stealing.
Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. So into red figures at 1 under.
Frank, players had hybrids. Some had irons out off the tee on that short par 4 second. Time to get the big stick out here on the third.
It certainly is. The third hole you play here, 3 totally different looks off the tee. This hole appears straightish off the tee, but well bunkered down the left, which makes you push that tee shot a little to the right. Game's about rhythm. When you have good rhythm, it just looks effortless. To hit the ball 300 yards through the air, that easy.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball. And this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards.
Frank, this looks to be the kind of approach shot here at number 3 that a high-level professional would like to hit.
We don't see as many guys cut the ball as what we used to in the sort of Lee Trevino days. So really the modern day player likes to hit the ball right to left, and this is a second shot that certainly suits that. And this is not heading in the right direction.
Well, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths.
Frank, what's the best way to get at this hole location here at number 3?
If there's a desired shot pattern, it's a little draw off the tee and a little draw in. And the reason why, if you look at the shape of that green, it's on a 45-degree angle to the left. So it really does suit a shot coming in from the right. This is way left going left.
And that one's going to be in the rough, it looks like.
Shouldn't be a problem here.
Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, he couldn't hit that much better.
From about 8 feet.
To -2 early in the round.
Good effort and good par putt. Frank, we're not at the beach. We're in the California desert, but I'm staring at plenty of sand right here.
Yeah, looks can be deceiving here. This is where somehow you do have to focus on exactly where they put the flag, and that's on the green stuff. Green is 36 paces deep. If you can just focus on that and don't let Pete Dye's sort of weirdness with all that snaking bunkers left and right, then just try and approach it as a straightforward par 3. I know it's easy to say, hard to do.
Frank, he's knocking them down and picking them up.
Oh, it's just taking pins out, one after the other. Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Settles in over the putt. Man,
I just pushed it.
boy, that hurts. He has this putt for birdie.
So, Frank, what do you think of the start so far?
Rock solid. Very impressed.
Keeps the momentum going with that putt. Stays at 3 under.
Frank, what'd you say at the top? Die on the left, die on the right. Is this what you were talking about?
Exactly, yeah. The fifth hole here, it's called double trouble. So yeah, there's chances for grief on both sides of this fairway. But, if you're long enough, if you can just sneak it past 335, that's where the water runs out. This is reachable.
So if you do sneak it out there, and that would be the longer hitters, you might have what into this green?
Well, you can get home hybrid, maybe even something shorter. But remember, it's called double trouble. Avoid that. Maybe double eagle.
Good contact, good result.
Second shot.
He's making the game look very simple right now. See it, hit it, and he's got it right on track. Should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. Frank, what's the best way to get at the golf ball when it's sitting down just a bit in the rough?
You have to accept the fact first and foremost that you're not going to get clean contact. So you have to decide whether the ball's going to come out short or it's going to fly. Because very rarely will it come out the normal distance of what you hit on the fairway. So if it's a little thin and wispy, chances are it might fly. If it's nestled down, you're going to have to take at least another club.
Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Going to really play well, -5. So a tester from 4 feet. That puts them at 4 under for the round.
Well, the architect Pete Dye is known for visual intimidation. We see it at TPC Sawgrass at the Players every year. And you see it right here, Frank, at this 255-yard par 3/6 with water everywhere you look.
Yeah, you could make an argument here that it suits a little bit of a cut, like a Lee Trevino style fade that starts at the left and moves its way to the green, but then that's also moving back towards the water. Conversely, if you try and fly it over that water on the right side with a little bit of a draw, then the green starts to run out on the left side. Have I made it sound hard? And it was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back?
That is an excellent play right there. The approach, getting him another good look. Well, certainly playable from here. Ball is in the first cut. Not too bad.
Frank, these days golfers are training like high-level athletes from other sports. Rory McIlroy, for example, has been using a guy by the name of Steve McGregor, who happened to be the trainer for the New York Knicks of the NBA.
And part of his training now is high altitude. The majority of the medal holders, for example, in the Olympics, or medal winners in the Olympics, actually use high altitude training. You know, you can develop more red blood cells in a shorter period of time. But, you know, golf, we've had so many different types of training from the athlete side. But you go back to the old days of Henry Cotton beating an old tire. Vijay Singh picked up on that. Or even the rhythm of Sam Snead. He used to count in the rhythm. It was 1, 2, 3. It was 1 at the top of the swing, 2 at impact, and 3 at the follow through. All those things are still very valid today.
Locked in on the read and the speed. And that's a bogey. And this will be a 5-foot putt here. So they'll tap in. -3 now for the round. Frank, if you want to play this game at the highest level, and no doubt our players do, you have to sort of be tactical. When you break down shots or break down a hole, how would you break down this hole in a very smart way?
Yeah, I know what you're getting at there. A lot of people would think 350 yards, you could bash a driver down there, you'd finish up in trouble. Well, the way to be aggressive on a strategic hole is to just put the first one in play in a position where you can attack with the second. And there's no shame in that. You can still walk off here more days than often than not with a 3.
Good tee shot, good lie, and now a good chance to take advantage here on this hole. Frank, he is one of the longest hitters in the game, but at some point, you have to hit a fairway.
Yeah, he's certainly not the straightest. I think that was the bit you're going to put in the middle.
Frank, no reason here to think we're going to see anything other than another good shot.
Yeah, in a great flow, and golf like this looks easy.
Good-looking shot right here.
Great effort right there, and a great chance to knock in that short putt. Ends up in the first cut, and he'll have a pretty good look at the whole location from here. Getting set now over the putt. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. He will make birdie if he holds this putt. How about that? 4 under par.
Now the second par 5 on this opening 9 here at PGA West. Frank, what are we looking at?
The bunker down the right side gives you that optical illusion because it sort of has that curvy edge to it, plus it sort of moves its way to that right side, and then you notice there's a bunker on the left that sneaks in on the left side. So this isn't just sort of blaze away off the tee. It still requires a good straight tee shot. If you do err a little bit, then you've got to be very cognizant of the bunkers up on the left side as you get closer to the green.
That appeared to be a good strike right there, Frank.
Oh, good. It's just towering. Look at that hanging in the sky.
Now from a good position in the fairway, his second shot. He makes a great pass at the golf ball. It's powerful, but it's rhythmic at the same time. Good lie in the fairway. A good chance to make something happen here. This is how the game is supposed to be played. This has been just outstanding. Beautiful to watch. Stuffed it in there really close, and now just a tap in.
Now the approach shot here on this par 5/8.
5 shots. Every now and again, one's going to go on.
Crazy, crazy game.
You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Could really use this one. It's for birdie. Starting to move in the right direction. 5 under after that made putt.
Frank, as we arrive here at the par 4 ninth, 452 yards, I hear players like you often say, I'm going to take it on. What do you mean by that, and how does it apply to this particular tee shot?
Well, you have options, obviously. One is to hit it down that right side, which...
NASA, we have a splashdown.
So hit the previous shot in the water, took a drop, this now the third shot.
Now, this is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Well, not this time. That one's in the rough. Might be a tough shot coming up. Frank, this ball's in the rough. Anything you change in your technique when a ball's sitting down a little bit?
Yeah, you put the ball back a little bit further in your stance because you're going to get a bit of grass between the ball and the club face. So you have to...
Frank, not easy to keep your eye on the target when you've just splashed down.
Yeah, but on the flip side, too, one bad shot doesn't have to lead to 2.
Still going, and going the wrong way. This is the 5th shot after that previous one went into the drink. Frank, that was the right thing to do.
Yeah, there was no advantage to try and get any more out of that. Smart shot.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up.
Player really needs to be dialed in here. This approach shot is not easy by any stretch here at the 9th.
Pretty good shot, Frank, just inside of 20 feet.
And 19 feet is what we're hearing.
Ball sitting down here in the rough. He's digging in. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Well, double par here. Time to pick up and move on. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Impressive. Once again, that's a par, remaining at 5 under. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
That is massive off the tee.
Meters, yards, I don't care how you measure that. That's got to be what? 300 meters, 325 yards, something like that. Tom Weiskopf was one of my idols growing up. I loved the way he swung. That swing right there reminds me of my age.
Looks like Rory McIlroy finds sticking the follow through.
Frank, as we get set for this approach, what does our featured player need to do to regain some of that early round magic?
First, a bit of advice, really. Take a deep breath. Make sure all those bad thoughts get out of your mind. After that hot start, we all know they can play better than this, but they need to relax first of all and then let their game take over again.
So, sizing up the approach shot here at the par 4 10th, what's a player trying to work out right now with their caddy?
Distance club selection is always the situation here when you have something to carry and something to stay short of.
This is a good-looking shot.
"12 feet still to go."
Putting a good round together now at 4 under. This is for his birdie.
Oh yeah, he's made it for a birdie. Frank, how about this hole, the par 5 11th? Long one.
Oh, it is. And, you know, anything over 600 yards, only the longest it is the Bubba Watsons, the Dustin Johnsons of the world. The other ones that can get home on a hole like this. For the other ones, even those bunkers down the left side are sort of in play. You at least have to give them a cursory look off the tee. Nothing wrong with a hole that a par 5 that you can't reach. You can still play it as a 3-shotter. And in some respects, you get rewarded for laying up here because that water that comes in on the left-hand side, that's not going to be in play.
He just blasted that one down the fairway. Out there about 325 yards.
Oh, that's fine.
And from the fairway for his second shot here. Frank, did you hear the sound of that coming off the club face?
It was like a cannon.
Right in the heart of the fairway, green light special. Couldn't have done much better than that. An eagle is very possible. Now the third shot here at the par 5 11th.
Settles in over the putt. Now 8 under on the day. So just a formality here. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall.
Frank, now another clever, small par 4, only 363 yards here at the 12th.
A couple of different options here, Rich. You can lay it up just short of where that nose of the bunker starts to poke out on the right side of the fairway. Then you're going to be left with something in the sort of 140, 150 yard mark to the flag. Or if you want to get a little sort of greedy, you start to sneak it up there where it gets narrow. It's shorter, but it requires a better shot. Oh, beautiful swing, and the result is every bit as good.
.315. This one is definitely heading left. Looks like it is going to end up in the rough. You have to think he'll be happy with that, given that it looked like it was headed right for the rough.
Yeah, it looked like that was the only place it was going to finish. But, well, it's a little bit unexplainable. Let's see what he does from here now. Lucky break.
Oh, can't hide the flag stick from that man.
Frank, what's the right play here? Second to the short 12th.
Short flags, obviously got to keep it on that front section. When you've got a back flag, you've got to get it over that little faint ridge that's in the middle of the screen. Got to go past that.
Well, he'll be disappointed with that, no doubt.
Yeah, swing didn't quite look right on that one.
Frank, in golf, as we know, there's short grass and there's long grass. We all want to be in that short grass, but it doesn't always work out that way. So what's the most important element from the shot, from the rough?
You have to be a little bit more conservative first and foremost, because you can't guarantee a perfect strike out of the long grass. So therefore you have to look around the greens, maybe short, to the right, to the left, and realize what's involved. And also just give yourself a slightly bigger target.
It's a very makeable putt here. He is currently 5 under for his round. We're just playing a nice round of golf. Has that one for par, and now at 5 under par. Locked in on the read and the speed. 8 under par for the round.
Now at the par 3 13th, and Frank, in some ways, this is vintage Pete Dye, isn't it?
It is. His use of wooden bulkheads, plus the fact that he gives you that diminishing line. The further you go back into this green, you realize it's a larger carry. It just sort of reeks of something that's hit to the front mid-right of this green. There's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
Just an incredible shot. That is a very makeable putt after a great approach. Well played. And about 210 yards to the flagstick here of this par 3. This one doesn't look good.
There's water over there.
Just averted danger right there. So close.
Why does he have all the luck?
Birdie chance here. Very long putt, though.
Got to be a little careful if it gets away on him.
You've got to be kidding me. That was right on the edge.
I tell you, he wants to do over there.
Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either.
Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
Trying to move on with a par in his pocket.
Nothing wrong with that par putt. Did the job right there. Well, Frank, kind of a make-or-break hole here at the 14th, par 4, 389 yards.
Yeah, for the Cavalier player, you can sort of go at this this green in a more direct line. 290 yards will take all this bunker down the right out of play. Just leave you a flick in here. I'm going to say that's not a bad play, really. If you don't do that, then you just got to thread it down the left.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball, and this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards.
That's an absolute beauty.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Just a pure strike, and a perfect result. He'll have a good look at birdie now.
All right, partner, walk us through this approach shot here at the 14th.
You have to respect the back of the screen as it starts to narrow up. The widest part of the screen is the front. The advantage of that, though, if you do leave it a little bit shorter, you are putting uphill.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
Good chance here. Currently at 5 under par.
Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie. And what a day it's been. And getting ready for the putt. You may have lost track at home, but we're keeping count. And that is 9 under for the day.
Well, Frank, we are turning home. It says so on the scorecard here at 15.
It is, and once again, another example of great bunkering by Pete Dye. Bunkers on a lot of golf courses are just simply left and right, but what Pete Dye does, he lets them cut in, especially that one down the left side of the fairway, it cuts in, so it has to be avoided, and it's going to be about 280 yards to take it completely out of play. That's probably the best line, is to get it just past that last bunker on the left side.
Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
Well, it is nice to have that one in your bag, to be able to hit it that long.
Yeah, that has to be at least 315 yards.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
this is looking really good.
Perfect. And in the hole. What a shot.
Now the approach here at 15.
You can see a little bit off balance on the tee, and that one is going to be in the rough.
Frank, better than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that looked like it was headed for that thick stuff the whole way, but a little fortunate. But then I guess you're allowed that in this game.
Getting set now over the putt. In for par.
Here we go now, the final par 5 of the day, Frank.
Yeah, decision on how much you bite off here. If you play the ball to the right, then it's going to play its full 600 yards. But if you can take it in a direct line at that green, you're going to chew off a little bit of yardage. But you have to be able to carry that bunker.
And through the years, a lot of excitement here at this par 5 16th.
What a great shot.
A great way to start a hole, nicely placed in the fairway. That's a good spot right there.
Center cut.
Set for his next shot from a good position in the fairway. Looks like he's going to have a go at it here at the par 5, his second shot.
Third shot, looking for a good one. Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on that. Easy birdie.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. So a tester from 4 feet. Always like to get the double figures under par. 10 under already.
Well, there it is. They call it Alcatraz. Just sitting out there on the water, 168 yards away, Frank.
Well, speaking of water, that water looks so peaceful, doesn't it? It'd be a shame to spoil it with a splash. In the direction of the sand.
And looks like it. That is always so disappointing from that kind of a spot when you come up short.
Yeah, you're licking your chops over that one. A shot you think you could hit directly at the flag. Now, test for the short game.
Headed for the bunker. And the tee shot ends up in the bunker.
And an awkward little bunker shot. Just splash it out, let the ball run towards the flag.
What a great bunker shot. Frank, best bunker players that you've ever seen.
Most of them South African. Gary Player, Ineos, David Frost. Just have a great feel. A little bit like what we just saw there.
Locked in on the read and the speed. A good effort and a good par putt. Just a little tap in here. Ten under par on the day.
Well, here we are at 18. It's a par 4, only 439 yards. But again, we've said it all day long. Water to deal with.
It's a great driving hole here, Rich. You don't necessarily have to hit driver. There's three groups of bunkers that are really in play off the tee shot. It's the one in the middle. It's around 290 yards. That's the one you really have to focus on. For stronger players, there's nothing wrong with hitting 3 wood off the tee there. You're still only going to have a shot of 150, 160 yards. Whichever way you look at it, it's something that you think you can find the fairway with. Long and straight.
That's how you do it.
And here it is, the final approach shot of the day.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Beautiful shot. That is tight.
Unbelievable. That is one to savor for the rest of the round.
Frank, this approach shot seems pretty straightforward. Just don't hit it left.
Yeah, it's a tough second shot. It's that visual. Once again, you've got that green that's angled to the left. But once again, like a few holes out here, you do not have to hit directly at this flag. You are allowed to move that flag mentally 15, even 20 feet to the right. There's nothing wrong with that.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Not a gimme, but well within his range. Well, in the words of the late, great baseball commentator for the Yankees, Phil Rizzuto, it's time for Holy Cow, Whitey. That's 11 under par. Good putt.
Well, Frank, round 1 in the books. Look who's on top of the leaderboard.
And that's with some strong play today. They don't really need to look back. Strong play.